So it's that winter weather again. Wanted to give you a little maintenance tip, especially if you're a brand new homeowner, something to think about. Here in North Texas, we do get temperatures below freezing. If you were here last year during the snow apocalypse, you definitely experienced that. We had some sub-zero. That's very rare here. Lived here since I was 2. I've seen those temperatures twice in my lifetime, so, and I'm really old, so. Let's talk about things you can do to prepare for winterizing your house. So say you have an automatic sprinkler system that's underground. One thing you want to do now, some systems have the Texas Municipal Water District. They mandated that you're supposed to have a rain-freeze sensor. Some people do, some people don't, depending how old your house is. It may or may not be there. So one thing I do, when I know ahead of time it's going to freeze, when it's going to be 32 or less, I'll go out to the curb. There's a big green rectangular box, usually with rounded corners. You go there, pull that off, and you have usually a couple of little valves. You flip it up, that turns it off. You turn it to the right or left, that usually opens it. When it goes perpendicular to the pipe, that means that it's on. When you flip it up and it's 90 degrees, that usually means the water's off, so it'll keep water from being supplied to the sprinklers. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you disconnect all hoses from outside hose bibs. And if you have a frost-free hose bib, it may or may not be necessary, but I always do. Even though I have the anti-freeze hose bib, I go to one of the big box stores, you know who they are, and buy a faucet cover. I get the hard cover type just because it seems to last a little longer, holds up to the weather better. Slip it over the faucet. When you put it on, make sure the water's not dripping, because that won't do you any good. And I do that especially on the north side of the house. The south side, I'm not as worried, but I still do it anyway, just to be sure that I'm safe, and you should do the same. And up in the attic, if that's where your hot water heater is like mine, I try and make sure that I have the foam that insulates all the supply lines to the hot water heater. That right there will help. But when temperatures get in the 20s, I will drip my hot water lines in all my faucets. I will open the cabinets, let them drip. I failed to do that during the snow apocalypse. Guess what happened? The hot water supply from my hot water heater froze up, turned the gas off. I took a hair dryer and I kept it on that line until I felt the nut where it's connected to the supply line, felt it warm up. That told me that it had unfrozen. Water flowed through the house. After that, I made sure I had that hot water line on drip the rest of the cold. So those are just some things you want to do all through the house, especially on pipes that are facing outside walls. In the kitchen may or may not matter as much, but that's usually what's the one that's closest to the hot water heater, so I suggest you drip it anyway, just to be safe. That way you don't have an accidental pipe freeze, because a bursting pipe will do a lot of damage. And you may or may not have the right coverage with your insurance, so it's a good time to talk to your insurance agent, ask about that. It's usually coverage for sudden water infiltration or something. I can't remember what it's called. Hopefully that was helpful. This is one of my maintenance tips that I like to give out. I just thought since it's turning cold this weekend, it would be a good time to record this and post it. If you have any other suggestions, any questions, feel free to reach out to me. All my information's at the end of this video. Have a good one, and let's all survive the cold.